I spent over a week in Token 2049, Singapore, Solana Breakpoint, and Dubai. I'm going to go ahead, break down the alpha and the news for today. Someone that's gone ahead and been privileged enough to be able to speak to the people that actually bring the alpha within the crypto gaming space. If you like the content, which by the way, the gaming markets are pumping. It's finally looking good. You know when the markets are dumping and everybody's like, oh, you suck. You're the worst person ever. Well, now they must be feeling a lot of regret because the gaming markets are pumping like crazy. If you like the content, like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So right before I get into it, I just want to go ahead and talk about health as well. I want to preach this on the channel. There's not enough people talking about this. You need to take care of your health if you want to survive. I was way too fat. In the bear market, I gained a ton of weight because I spent too much time in the markets and also a lot of time just being sad about the whole spiel. When the markets were down this time, I decided, I'm going to go to the gym. And I've been losing weight. I hit 200 pounds, so I'm still fat. I'm not acting like I'm skinny or anything. I'm not some kind of like crazy jacked guy, but I'm working on it. And I think that it needs to be talked about more often, taking care of your health with crypto. Crypto gains, yes, they may come, but health is always going to be your number one priority. So with this being said, let me actually get into the news. So right now, the gaming tokens are pumping. Very clearly, the market cap has gone from like 14 billion all the way to 19 to 20 billion. It's gone ahead and run. A lot of these coins are up a lot. I mean, just for the past week, IMX, the biggest coin, is up 22%. So clearly everything is running pretty hard. Some coins that I'm going to be talking about are up way more than we've talked about on the channel before. So it's for what you want to go ahead and stay here. You want to go ahead and get the alpha. And so why is the entire market running? It's because of the feds. Ooh, the feds love us. The feds have done a 50 BPS rate cut, which is a lot. 50 basis points. It's actually a little bit of a surprise. I actually didn't think we were going to get it. The feds are usually late when it comes to this kind of stuff, which does scare me, the fact that they're doing a 50 BPS cut. I thought they were going to do 25. We got 50. The feds have also hinted at the fact that they might do another 50. We'll see. This guy's saying he's comfortable with it. And he's also saying many more rate cuts likely needed over the next year. Rates need to come down significantly. I personally like that because that's going to give a big old bull market, huge bull market. And where are people putting their money in? Well, gaming seems to still be a niche. It still seems to be quite the large niche. It's kind of interesting. I remember when the markets were going crazy and everybody was a gaming moon boy. It was the best to be, a gaming content creator. Everybody was talking about gaming. And then all of a sudden, people forgot for AI and RWA and some of those other narratives, which I'm sure they're still going to be good, right? AI is not going anywhere. It's only going to become a bigger and bigger issue in today's society. But gaming's coming back. It's come back pretty strong. There's a lot of games that are going to be launching in the next 3 to 6 months. A lot of games. And tokens, don't even get me started. There's going to be too many tokens. When I hear the people tell me, oh, but there's too many tokens in the gaming space, there's a lot of dilution, I don't believe that at all. I don't think token dilution is a thing right now. I think it's demand that's the problem. There's not enough demand in the gaming markets. The demand's coming back, though, for those coins that actually meant something. If a gaming coin is a winner, it is likely going to continue to be a winner for the rest of the cycle. And when I go to the gaming markets and I click the top coins for the past 24 hours, I see a lot of those coins that were winning earlier this cycle that are once again winning. Winners tend to continue to be winners. And right now, we're getting a lot of really good news in the general crypto markets. For example, the Bitwise CEO, he is $4.5 billion. The most powerful people in finance are allocating to Bitcoin and crypto. I believe him because BlackRock's going ahead and doing it. We also got some pretty interesting news, which I'll give my hot take on it. Ronin Network has gone ahead and announced 7 new games. 7 new games. That's crazy. I mean, that's practically multiplying the amount of games on their actual network. Yes, it's not a crazy amount of games, but this is a big move. They went ahead and actually opened applications to Ronin Forge, which is a gateway for studios to build on Ronin. Now, do I think all 7 of these games are going to pump equally as hard as Pixels Online? One of the big flagship games for Ronin, Axie Infinity. I don't think so. I actually am a little bit conflicted because Ronin has this problem where on one hand, they can go ahead, help incubate these games, get them really successful. They just can't do a lot of games at the same time versus going ahead and just putting as many games out there as possible. I actually kind of see a stark contrast between an ecosystem like Immutable, where they're just trying to get as many as possible. They don't care. They just give me as many games as possible. And then we have Ronin, which was being very picky with the amount of games that they were putting. But every time they did a game, we knew for a fact practically that it would go ahead and pump. So this is a really big risk. They do 7 new games here. I almost guarantee that half of these games are not going to do well. And the other half, it's a complete gamble on whether or not they're going to be successful. I'm sure like 1 out of the 7 games is going to be a huge success. But this is kind of like the next step for Ronin. Ronin cannot continue to be that ecosystem that only has a couple games that are really successful. They need to go ahead and start spraying and praying, essentially. And so Ronin, they're opening up with their Forge program. I would not, continuously ape into all these, tokens within the ecosystem. I would rather much just get the Ronin token, because Ronin continues to, I think, be a leader in the crypto gaming space. And I also think as a result of Ronin Forge, it's only going to be good for the underlying Ronin token, but it makes me less bullish on each of the launches that actually happen within the Ronin network, because it seems like they're going for more numbers, which of course there's still a lot of quality control. It's only 7 games. It's not like they announced 100 games, but it does kind of signal that they're a little bit more open to putting more and more and more and more games in their ecosystem. So a per game basis, not as bullish, but as an ecosystem, I'm absolutely more bullish on the Ronin network than I essentially have ever been in. It's kind of translating on the chart. Past 7 days, past month, complete recovery in the markets. I mean, we're at $1.38, $1.77, still up 279% on the year. It's looking pretty good. Another one that ran heavily was Karrat coin. We've talked about it on the channel. I'm also a person that went ahead and grabbed a couple coins, just to say the least. And so they had a really big recovery. The reason for it, and this is, partial here, Alex Becker talked about it. And when Alex Becker talked about it, I'm not sure where you could see the bottom on this chart. We were at 29 cents. Was it lower before? Yeah, we went to like 26 cents-ish. But we pumped a lot. And of course, they announced further catalyst on top of that, but they definitely have run a lot. I think I agree with Becker's sentiment that I think it's pretty ridiculous that Karrat is valued at where it is. So just to give you some context, they have MyPetHooligan as their case study. I mean, this is a huge studio. They've got the AI cross narrative going for them as well. They've got that Coinbase listing deep in the bear, haven't actually experienced a proper cycle. They did not care. They did not care about their launch time. They just launched, and so it got people a more fair pricing. I think this is a severely undervalued coin in the current market state. And so what's going to happen here? Karrat is actually a governance coin. It's actually an ecosystem token. It's going to be a lot more than just MyPetHooligan. And when people realize that, when people see all the games building on there, it's going to catch up. This valuation is absolutely going to catch up. Now, circulating supply is 11%. The vesting is long. Are we going to see a lot of the supply come out there during this bull cycle? Likely not. We're likely not going to see that because of the vesting periods, right? But it is something you should go ahead and factor in. And I think a lot of these gaming coins, honestly, are just severely undervalued. So really, any attention being given to them is only a good thing. And another one that I've been mentioning on the channel, which, they are a sponsor of the channel, so I will go ahead and disclose that. I think they're the best metaverse in crypto. We are very picky with our sponsors. I don't know if you've realized, we don't really do a lot of sponsors. But when it comes to Wilder World, the big reason I'm very bullish on them is because they're less focused on the actual token price than they are on actually building awesome products. They went ahead and in Token 2049 Singapore invited me to look at their latest build. Wilder World right now, they're marketing themselves as a metaverse, open world game. It's going to be a broader ecosystem, bunch of stuff building on there. But their main thing has always been, waiting a long time to make sure the quality is there and then announcing it. They had their racing game, which is Midnight in Miami, and they showed me the actual open world for Wilder World. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't even think we were there yet. But apparently we are there. They just are very much in the sentiment that they want to make sure that things are built the correct way, which I'm all for. I don't want to launch these half-written projects that just are filled with bugs and garbage. I'm good. I want to make sure there is quality control. So I'm all for what Wilder World is doing. I tested this little shooter thing. It's going to look bad because this is on like CoinMarketCap or whatever, but I'm not even going to bother showing it. But it looks really good in person when you actually go ahead and play it, when they announce it. I think that they're getting to the point where they're going to start making a lot of announcements. They also went ahead and bounced over the monthly. I think they went below 20 cents. I accumulated at 21 cents, so I didn't get the exact bottom. I guess we shoulda, woulda, wanted, coulda, but didn't. I also accumulated around the 50-cent range, so I'm a little bit of a DCA right now. But I think this is going to be the biggest metaverse in crypto. I don't think it's close. If the metaverse narrative is going to come back, which I believe it's the cross-section between everything in society, social media, gaming, AI, every big narrative is going to lead into metaverse. I think Wilder World is going to be the absolute king. They actually care about the gameplay. They're not like all of these little garbage tokens that all they care about is a pump. If they wanted to pump this token, they could. They easily could. But I would much rather they actually focus on a product that is good rather than just focusing on pumping this token. Because if they get a good product out there, it's going to be worth so much more than any short-term gratification you might get by just grabbing the token now and getting a 2x. I don't care about a 2x. We're trying to get 10x's, 20x's. The craziness that you come to crypto for. And I just think there's a lot of actual quality control, which is much needed in the crypto space. If you're trying to take advantage of what they're doing, I'll leave the link. I'm not sure if the airdrop is going to be that massive. I own a Trinity, 3 NFTs that give you a land plot. I think land is going to be a big part of what Wilder World is building. But of course, that hasn't come into play yet. I'll be doing more in-depth content as that comes along. You could go and get into the Odyssey. It's their wild airdrop. It's their social campaign leading into what I believe is going to be a big, big gameplay push coming in Q4 of 2024. A lot of games are going to be doing a lot of things during Q4 2024. It's going to be a very, very exciting time for the crypto markets. And what I think I found very interesting recently, this is a game that I don't really know too much about. This is from last cycle. It's called Aavegotchi. And Binance Futures said that they were launching a USD margin ghost perpetual contract. I thought that was really interesting. This happened yesterday. That doesn't really happen. Binance has been really picky when it comes to the coins that they are listing in futures, in regular. Of course, when you look at Aavegotchi, they already had that Binance listing. It's like it magically came in. It's brand new. But it did have a bit of price action. And it makes you wonder whether or not Aavegotchi has more announcements planned. Their token, they had I think they had a migration at some point, or they were going to have a migration. I don't really remember what ended up happening, but it does seem like the next leg might be happening. I don't know. I don't really care about Aavegotchi too much. It's never been on my radar, but they're doing an OL3 with Arbitrum Orbit. We'll see what it comes from and the alphas that Binance Futures went ahead and launched. Last one is kind of just talking about what I talked about in the beginning of this video, which was winners. I think that 99% of you are overcomplicating, including myself, when it comes to looking for new coins, and you'll see me regurgitate a lot of the words that I'm saying often. You don't need to buy 300 coins. When I went to Token 2049 and I had one of my subscribers ask me, what coins are you buying right now? I would say it's pretty much the same coins I was buying before. When I talked about my portfolio, which I'm happy to share this was back, this is not obviously everything, but this was a sample portfolio of the top 10 crypto games that I got into. This was back in November. It's up 69%. Still, even today, after all of this craziness, it went from, $1,000 all the way to what is this? $4,662. We're up 400% at some point. Still up 69%. During all of this craziness that's happened, I've had zero changes to this portfolio, and yet it is still up this amount. Stop trying to time the markets. Just put money into the markets. You don't need to be some crazy person. If you DCA, if you put $100 into a crypto coin, eventually, historically speaking, if the coin is going to be around, you're going to be doing well. You don't need to have some magical timing in the crypto markets that I tell you, you have 2 days left, and if you don't get into the markets, you're going to lose everything. No, you're not going to magically lose everything. And if you make money, make this a lesson. If you didn't take profit at 400%, you know how much harder it's going to be for the markets to bounce all the way back up to you're being up 400%. Sure, if you had 1,000, for example, and you tell me, oh, but I want a 10x gain because I want to have $10,000. I want to have actually something meaningful in terms of gains. Yeah, you could do that. That's gambling. You're just straight gambling if you're just hoping something is going to 10x. I would much rather take profit at 2,500, 3,000, 3,500. In the event that something like this happens once again and you get absolutely destroyed. Don't be the guy that bought here and held and he's up 60%. Don't be that guy. Be the guy that you got a 2x. Okay, I'm taking half here. You get another 2x. Okay, I'm taking half here. And then when it goes down again, do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, having liquid capital to be able to do whatever you want is the goal. If I went all in here, sure, I'm up a bit. But if I took profit, I'd be able to have a much healthier decision-making process without having to worry about all of this. If you're up 69% after losing everything, you're a lot more willing to paper hand. You need to have smart decisions so you can take advantage of the market when it is prime time to do so. I guess I'll just go ahead and leave you with that. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to support us, I don't really want your money. Just join our Discord, hang out with us. Link in the description. Till next time, stay classy, and that's all.